Nepal, a small country situated in the midst of the Himalayas, bordered by China and India, suffers from a child labor crisis. Nepal is a country with approximately 120 different ethnic groups and a population of 26 million, 80% of which are living in rural poverty, and many of which are living at below $250 per year. There were 12 years of violent conflict between the Maoist revolutionaries and the government forces, much of which took place in the remote areas of Nepal. In these places, the majority of the population lives isolated from good medical attention, education, roads, access to communication, and electricity. The last decade has seen massive migration to urban areas such as Kathmandu. This migration lands many families and orphans into homelessness, driving mothers and girls into sex trade and children into labor. Poverty, lack of education, remoteness of villages, caste discrimination, AIDS orphans, sex trade, and cultural practices like polygamy are just some of the causes that drive children into labor sectors. There are many sectors of child labor, all of them depriving children of basic education, health care, nurturing, and safety. As laborers, children are exposed to drugs, disease, poverty, and abuse. Rag pickers, transport workers, restaurant workers, street children, brick laborers, stone quarry workers, welders, and porters are labor sectors dominated by children. Rag pickers live on the streets and dig through garbage piles to search for recyclables, such as plastics and beer bottles, that they can resell. They even dig for food. This work exposes them to countless infections, including tetanus, stomach illness, skin disease, parasites, and malnutrition. This population is also very susceptible to glue addiction, a gateway drug among this poor demographic group. It eases hunger pains while simultaneously creating a high that is neurologically damaging and dangerous for their lungs and mental health. Closely related to rag pickers are street children, another sect of child laborers, living with no families. These children survive by begging, thieving, cheating, and even prostitution. Glue use is also common with street children, often leading to harder drugs. These children are often raped by adults or peers. Skin and stomach disease and malnutrition are common among these children. Another sector of child labor is the brick factories and stone quarries of Nepal. Children of migrant laboring families are employed alongside their parents in breaking rocks, molding clay bricks, and carrying heavy brick loads around the factory yards. Children as young as 3 years old in this sector and are victims of a wide range of workplace injuries. No safety glasses are used while breaking rocks, and permanent eye and hand damage occur often. In both settings, children are exposed to dust-related illnesses and suffer from asthma, pneumonia, and TB. Families live on the work sites, and the workday for children generally lasts from sunrise to sunset. Work in brick factories and stone quarries is seasonal, and when the work ends, migrant families are forced to move on to other work sites in India. Another sector of labor is the welding and metalworking factories. Lone boys start their work around the age of 8. In addition to long hours and lack of safety equipment, the boys also have to face eye injuries and severe skin burns. Restaurants and hotels also employ young children. Their duties involve cleaning pots, cooking, and waiting on tables. The children sleep in the restaurants at night, on the floors or tables, and they are fed leftover food. One of the more dangerous child labor sectors is transport labor. Children working on buses and three-wheeled minibuses work long hours, sleep in the buses, and are extremely prone to injury due to falls and crashes between buses. The pollution on city streets causes chronic lung conditions, and the children are also at risk from abusive drivers who beat and sexually abuse them. Both girls and boys work as child porters. These children transport heavy loads for nearly no pay. They live together on the streets and are at risk of disease and malnutrition. Finally, children are commonly employed as domestic help in private homes. These positions have extremely long hours, anywhere between 12 and 18 hours daily. Child domestic laborers eat comparatively better food than children in other labor sectors, but are often beaten by their bosses. Girls are often raped countless times while living and working on the streets. And when they become older, marriages cannot be arranged because of their low social status. Therefore, they cannot have a family, which is a vital part of Nepali culture. Girls are prone to becoming pregnant at young ages, falling into sex work, and becoming infected with HIV. Generally, their children will grow into the same street life. Both boys and girls stay impoverished, and often the harsh early years lead to mental instability and violent tendencies. Uneducated and without family connections, there are few opportunities for these children as they grow. So what can be done about the problem of child labor? We have a plan to raise awareness about these issues and break the cycle of child labor in Nepal. The link between development and the possibility of ending child labor must be recognized. This is a rapidly changing country, and we have to make sure that the issues of rural poverty and child labor are responsibly dealt with in the highest levels of the government. We have a plan that will advocate for children's rights in a national forum and make an impact on child labor at the source. We plan to encourage the government to provide rational distribution of resources among the districts of Nepal. When families are provided for in rural areas, child labor will be reduced. Our plan is this. We want to put our cameras into the hands of laboring children. We will enroll them in school and simultaneously teach them about media production. We will have working children interview government officials, politicians, etc. Calling attention to these problems in this unique way, we will be able to influence social programming of the government and bring a voice to the communities which will benefit most from development. Please visit our website at www.achildslife-nepal.org for more information and ways you can help.